when Jake found out?
Jake demanded I do all his homework for the rest of the semester, or he would tell my family everything. What else could I do? My family was depending on me to succeed.
Were you desperate enough to kill him?
I was not happy about the situation, but I would never kill anyone. I value human life. Please don't tell anyone about this, I beg you. You will gain nothing if you do, and it would destroy my family if they knew what really happened. I regret what I have done. Please let me have this chance to become a doctor. I promise to make up for this mistake, even if it takes the rest of my life.
If you didn't kill Jake, do you have any idea who did?
When I delivered Jake's homework to him the other day, he mentioned being late for a meeting with Daryl Gray. It was very strange. I didn't know they were friends.
Do you know why Jake had an empty video cassette case in his locker?
I didn't know Jake was interested in video. I avoided him whenever I could.
Do you know Connie Watson?
Yes, we've been in a few classes together. I think she was dating Jake Rogers.
What can you tell me about Daryl Gray?
He's very popular, and a good politician too. Just like his father.
Like his father?
I hear he was a great politician, but not a very good businessman. I think his company went bankrupt a few years ago.
Have you heard of Hulk Sanchez?
Heard of him? Hulk holds the conference record for quarterback sacks. He's been the state's #1 player since he was a freshman. He's also a candidate for a big university, even with his injury.
Injury?
Hulk got hurt a few weeks ago. Ever since that game, he hasn't played the same. I worry that his chances of playing for a top school are not as good as before his injury.
Connie told me you study too hard. Is that true?
Connie doesn't know my study habits. I can handle my studies. I'm behind in my studies and I must get back to the library. Bye, Nancy.
Nancy, I'm starting to wonder about you.
Have you seen any of those weird messages on the bulletin boards?
Yes, and if I catch the guy who's doing it, he's going to be in big trouble. I bet it's the same person who keeps on setting off the soda machine alarm.
I guess that comes with the territory of being school monitor.
Normally it's not this hectic. When I figure out who's been pulling all these pranks...
Didn't I hear you were dating Jake?
Hey, a girl can make a mistake, can't she?
I'll talk to you later.
Adios.
How's it going?
Do you know Hal Tanaka?
That dude is always studying. He's a huge fan of mine. Real smart guy. But I never understood why a brain like Tanaka would hang out with slime like Jake.
Hal was a friend of Jake's?
Let's just say I saw them talking together a lot. Jake's locker was right next to Hal's.
But they weren't really friends, is that what you're saying?
Jake didn't really have friends, and Hal, he may seem pretty chill, but I've seen him crack a couple of times. He's seriously uptight.
Crack a couple of times?
He's got a temper, a bad one. He lets the pressure build and build until he's wound so tight the slightest thing sets him off. Like last week, I strike him out during gym, and he goes ballistic and charges the mound. He's got some serious issues. I think of it. Last time I saw them together, Hal seemed pretty upset.
What can you tell me about Connie Watson?
She hangs out at the gym a lot. I heard she's been having a real tough time.
Why do you think she hangs out at the gym so much?
I don't know. She's a pretty good athlete, but never joined any of Paseo Del Mar's teams.
Tough time?
I heard she's been having some money problems.
What can you tell me about Daryl Gray?
He seems like a cool guy. His family used to sponsor the annual football awards dinner until last year. You know, he's the one who found Jake's body.
I'm really sorry you got injured. Does that affect your chances of playing college ball?
I had a little sprain, no big deal. Within a week, I was better than before, and impressing the football scouts. I'm as strong as ever.
Tell me about the robbery at the drug station pharmacy.
Why would I know about a robbery? All I know about is football.
Do you know why Jake had an empty video cassette case in his locker?
I didn't pay much attention to Jake. I'm tired of talking about that loser.
Goodbye.
Later.
What can I do for you?
Do you know Connie Watson?
Not that well. She keeps to herself a lot. I've always thought there's something mysterious about her. Kind of the same way I feel about you.
What can you tell me about Hal Tanaka?
Hal's an exchange student who's all scholarships and study. He's very intense about becoming a doctor.
How well Sanchez?
Big guy, big muscles, big dreams. A lot of football scouts have been coming over to watch him play. He must be under a lot of pressure to perform.
Someone said you were caught soaping up the windows on the teacher's lounge.
Yeah, I totally got busted. It was a senior prank. I had to spend 2 days in detention.
Wasn't that the night Jake was murdered?
Yeah, I guess it was. Never really thought about that.
Didn't I hear that you found Jake's body?
Yeah, I did. The student council president gets keys to the school. We had an early morning council meeting and I found him lying there. It was the worst thing I ever experienced in my life. And I really don't want to think about it right now.
Do you know why Jake had an empty video cassette case in his locker?
Why were you in Jake's locker?